Hey everyone, welcome back to Philosophical Fall Guy. Here we talk to Hollywood's top stunt performers and go behind the scenes to hear their stories, and then dive a little deeper to see what they ponder about in those moments of silence between the chaos. Okay, my guest today is an amazing martial artist and established stuntman and coordinator. He is known for Transformers, Age of Extinction, The Suicide Squad, Willy's Wonderland, and Ava, just to name a few. According to IMDb, he has 111 stunt credits, 25 actor credits, 23 additional crew credits, and 4 producer credits, and 5 self-credits. As well as doing stunts, he is an expert with military machine guns. He's protected generals and diplomats. He's performed recovery operations in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, and he's a decorated military veteran. And he holds a black belt in Mizuwaki Jiu-Jitsu. I'd like to welcome Charlie Parrish. Hey, brother.
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for being here today, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, I'd like to know, first of all, before you got into doing stunts, what was your background, what's your history, and how that kind of developed into the stunt world.
So, it's kind of funny. I was a stuntman before I went into the Army.
Oh, really?
And then I came back to being a stunt guy after I got out of the Army.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to be a stuntman from the time I was like 6.
Oh, really?
I just didn't know what it was called. I mean, I remember watching Errol Flynn swing from one pirate ship to another with a dagger in his teeth, and I went, I want to do that when I grow up. And it just sort of sat in the back of my mind. Mm-hmm. I did theater in school, and then got a scholarship to college for theater. Mm. But along the way, I'd seen Hooper.
Oh, Hooper.
Yeah,
yes.
And that put a name to what I wanted to do. Mm. So I did a lot of Shakespeare.
What year was Hooper?
God, Hooper was early 80s, right? Like
I was going to say, I couldn't remember if it was early 80s or late 70s.
Late 70s, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
And it's so funny because some of the people that are referenced in that movie, we've had the chance to meet and work with.
I know, right? That's pretty cool.
But once I saw, that's a thing. That's a job you can have. Mm-hmm. I kind of put my head around, well, how do I do that? Mm-hmm. So I was given a scholarship to college for theater and, did stage combat and those sorts of things. Met my jiu-jitsu instructor, started training with him 40 hours a week.
40 hours a week?
Oh, yeah. I was taking like 13 hours of classes and 20 to 40 hours of jiu-jitsu a week.
Wow.
Depending on what his schedule was.
That is amazing. Huh.
Because we met as an organized class twice a week for an hour at a time, but then we would stay 3 hours after.
Oh, I see.
And then we would go to his house on weekends.
Wow.
And work from sunup to sundown.
Huh. That's cool. That's cool, man. Wow.
Yeah. And I was making spare change as a bouncer. So I got to field test everything I was learning in nightclubs.
Wow.
And in Texas, 5 foot and 180 pounds at the time, you're a tiny bouncer.
Yeah, you're
so
those big old Texas boys. Yeah.
Yeah, so you better be bringing something to the table.
Right. Yeah.
But then halfway through, I guess my junior year, I get a call from my sister, who was a wrangler up in New Mexico, and she said, "Hey, we're doing this big film with Kevin Costner. I don't know what I can do, but I'm pretty sure I can at least get you on as a wrangler."
Nice.
So I dropped everything. I drove out to New Mexico. She got me my Teamster card as a wrangler and introduced me to the casting lady, Sally Jackson. And I walked in there.
Which movie was that for?
Wyatt Earp.
Oh, I was in New Mexico at that time.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was living in outside Albuquerque in Corrales.
Okay.
In summer of '93, and that's how I got my SAG card on the movie right behind you, Cowboy Way.
Okay.
But a friend of mine worked on that, Wyatt Earp. He was one of the Masterson. Wait, one of the brothers that gets shot with the gun, and he starts on his thing starts on fire, and he falls out.
Oh yeah, the Mastersons.
Yeah, it was Mastersons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy was the guy who played that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Well, what's funny is my sister was on the Cowboy Way.
She was?
She was one of the wranglers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. She was at the scene I was in because I was at the rodeo scene.
Yeah.
I was playing a rodeo cowboy. I didn't actually ride. I just was saying lines at that time. But that's funny, dude.
Yeah, well, she brought me up, and like I said, she introduced me to the casting lady, and I gave her the most pathetic theatrical resume you can imagine. Because all it had was stage stuff.
Oh, yeah?
But it had my special skills, and way down at the bottom, could ride horses.
Yeah.
And she called me the next day, and she's like, okay, how well do you ride? I'm like, well, I can handle a horse, but if you need a reference, you can talk to my sister. Mm. And she called my sister, and she said, yeah, he can ride anything with hair on it.
Cool.
So I got called out to meet the director, and there were like 5 of us. Mm-hmm. We had no idea what we were meeting him for. But, they brought us out to set, and he's directing Kevin Costner in a scene, and, all the other guys are just kind of freaked out that they're actually on a movie set. Mm-hmm. But I had in my back pocket a piece of advice my mom gave me. She's like, look, you're going to meet some really famous people, some really rich people, some important people. Before you get starstruck by any of them, think of what they look like going to the bathroom.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, so here's Larry Kasdan, and I'm a movie buff. I know everything he's done. He co-wrote Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
He did Big Chill, Body Heat, all of those.
Right.
And he comes out, and she goes, well, why don't you come with me? And I just stood up and walked over. And he goes, hi, I'm Larry Kasdan. And reached out his hand. I reached out and took his hand and went, hi, Larry, I'm Charlie Parrish. And he looked at me and he grinned, and he looked at the first AD and he goes, is he the right size? Yes, sir. Is he the right look? Yes, sir. Can you ride? Yes, sir. He goes, hire him.
Wow.
I was supposed to be there for 12 days doubling young Wyatt for all his riding.
And so why do you think that is?
Because I was just relaxed. I wasn't freaked out. I wasn't trying to impress him. I was just...
Kiss his ass.
I was just a guy.
Yeah.
And I was treating him as just a guy.
Right. Yeah.
And that's really the thing, because all of the people on that show, I mean, Kevin Costner, Dennis Quaid, Isabella Rossellini, Rex Lynn, Bill Pullman,
There's some big names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were really kind of peaking in their popularity. Mm-hmm. And they didn't want people that were going to be fawning all over them. Right. They wanted people that were going to treat them like just a guy.
Right.
And I was supposed to be there 12 days. I was doubling a kid named Ian Bowen that is still working. I think he's working on the other Kevin Costner show.
Yellowstone?
Yellowstone.
Okay.
He's a character on Yellowstone now. So he had 12 days in the schedule. And at the end of 12 days, the first AD came up to me and he's like, hey, we've really liked having you here. You've been great. You're always on time. You're where we need you when we need you there. Mm-hmm. We were wondering if it'd be okay if we kept you on as like a stand-in and utility rider.
Yeah.
And of course, this is my first film. They're feeding me 3 times a day. They're paying me $200 to show up.
Right.
$50 more if I get on a horse. Another $100 if they put me in somebody else's clothes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, would it be okay? Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I was there 4.5 months.
Wow.
And
your first gig, and you were 4.5 months.
Yeah, and wow. I bugged Norman Howell every day.
Norman Howell, yeah.
Right. I bugged him every day. How do I be a stunt guy? I want to be a stunt guy.
Yeah.
And after about 2 weeks, he's like, all right, come here. We're going to yank this guy off a horse. Grab this rope, pull when I tell you to. So the rest of the time, they would bring me along and get me to help them set up stunts, build boxes for box catchers, all that stuff. And at the end of it, he goes, look, if you really want to do this, you got to move to Los Angeles. So we wrapped in December, and I packed up and moved to L.A.
Oh, that's an awesome story, man.
Yeah.
I worked with Norman Howell quite a bit before I came out to Atlanta on CSI.
Oh, nice.
And I do remember my buddy, his name was Dick Beach, but he kept trying to hustle Norm. And Norm, same thing. He's like, well, you got to come out to L.A. So he never did, and you did. So
yeah, well, what's funny, and I never worked for Norm again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We ran into each other from time to time,
Yeah.
but I've never worked for Normal since.
Yeah.
But when I got out there, one of my dear friends from college, Danny Wayne, was already out there working on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, really?
So when I got out there, I moved into their house, and he brought me out on Power Rangers, and I worked as putties and cogs and Tengu and monsters and
a lot of character work and stuff, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
there's a lot of stunt guys that came out of Power Rangers.
Oh my God, so many.
Yeah.
Well, that whole Saban slate of shows, there's Power Rangers and Kamen Rider and Beetleborgs.
Yeah. My wife loves Kamen Rider, by the way.
Oh, wow.
That's her favorite character of all time. So
yeah, well,
did you ever play Kamen Rider?
No, I never worked on Kamen Rider.
Oh, you never did? Oh, okay.
But I know all the guys that did.
They did, yeah.
And then when I got to LA, I was bouncing nightclubs at night.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up a day job as a makeup artist at Cinema Secrets, one of their staff makeup artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working there one day, and this big guy comes in, big tall guy. And I'd been at an acting class, and the lady that ran the acting class said, "Yeah, you need to meet my friend. He's this, former medic on a SEAL team. He does stunts, and he's a makeup artist." Later that afternoon, he walks into the Cinema Secrets, and his name is Mike Michaels. He's big, 6'6" makeup artist, martial artist.
And he was a Navy SEAL?
He was a medic on a SEAL team.
Oh, medic on it. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he and I got to talking and hit it off right away. And a few weeks later, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing for the next 6 weeks?" I'm like, "I have no idea." And he goes, "I'm doing a film with Aaron Norris in Mexico. I'm pretty sure I can get you hired." So I flew down to Mexico, to Puerto Vallarta.
Cool.
Leaving the airport, I'm in the van going to set with a guy named Ricky Kahana, son of Kim Kahana, second generation stunt guy.
So, yeah,
and we're talking martial arts, and he goes, "Well, what are you doing down here on the film?" I'm like, "I'm not even hired yet. I'm just came on the chance that I could get hired." And he goes, "Well, if they don't hire you, you can work with me. I'm the fight choreographer."
Really? Cool, man. Wow.
And I had hair at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
we all did once, right?
Yeah.
What movie was that again?
It was called Overkill.
Overkill. Okay.
Yeah, it starred Aaron Norris, and I get off the van.
Aaron Norris.
Chuck Norris's brother.
Norris's brother. Okay. I didn't realize he had a little time in the acting spotlight, huh?
Yeah. Well, he did a lot of acting roles on his brother's films as the bad guy.
Oh, really?
And he was Chuck's stunt double for years.
Oh, really? Nice. Okay.
So he was the lead in the show, and I get there, and I've got long hair, and I get introduced to the stunt coordinator, a guy by the name of Hank Baumert, little sawed-off, angry-looking guy, and he goes, "This big knucklehead says you're a martial artist. Is that true?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "Can you take a punch?" I'm like, "Well, I've taken a few. We'll see." And he walks off. And that's how I got hired. And my first official stunt as a stunt guy, there was a Mexican professional wrestler. He hit me with a chair and knocked me down a flight of concrete steps.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And this dude hit me so hard, I missed the first half of the staircase.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the air.
Just.
Yeah, he just skied me. And my instructions were, okay, when you get to the bottom of the stairs, act like you're knocked out. These guys will pick you up and drag you to the police van and throw you in, and that's when we'll cut. I rolled to the bottom. I've never done a stair fall, never been hit by a chair. My instructions were keep your pointy parts in, try and land so your face is away from camera.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I get to the bottom, they pick me up, and I'm a noodle. They drag me to the van, throw me in. And my buddy Mike was also the set medic on top of everything else. When they yelled cut, he comes, opens the van, he goes, "Hey, that looked, ooh." He got you a little bit. I got a minor concussion.
Really?
Yeah, one of the chair legs hit me in the back of the head.
Now, did they not make a breakaway chair?
No, it was a breakaway chair.
But it was still
But it was a breakaway chair almost as big as this one.
Oh, I see.
And it had like 3 layers of paint on it.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah.
And still, if it's got the force behind it, it's got the force behind it, that's still going to come through. So, yeah.
The funniest part for me, though, was the next day, I'm on set, and Aaron Norris's wife comes to set, and she is steamed. And she just tears into him for doing the stunt. because he had promised her he was done doing stunts. And finally, when she took a breath, he goes, I didn't do that stunt. She goes, I've seen the dailies. He goes, I didn't do it. He did. And she looks over and sees me and looks back at him and goes, oh, and walks away. And he goes, come here. You stand right next to me from now on. I'm not going to take another ass chewing because of you.
That's funny.
So I was down there for 6 weeks. And at the end of it, he goes, hey, I'm going to be doing a film with my brother in 3 or 4 months. Are you going to be available? I'm like, sure. And I thought, yeah, I'll forget all about it.
Right.
4 months later, my phone rings. He's like, how soon can you be ready to go to Oregon? I'm like, well, how soon do you need me? He goes, there's a truck on its way to your house. So I packed my stunt bag, went up to Oregon, and that's where I got Taft-Hartley'd.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I got Taft-Hartley'd for getting my ass kicked by Chuck Norris.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's one of the best ways to get Taft-Hartley, in my opinion.
And it was a kid's film. It was called, Forest Warrior.
Forest Warrior. Okay.
Yeah. And I doubled a guy named J.D. Johnston, who I had worked with on Wyatt Earp.
Oh, wow. Small world.
My first day working, I was fighting Chuck's double. And the opening sequence, he runs down this downed redwood tree and does that signature flying sidekick to my chest. I'm thinking, oh, man, he's wearing cowboy boots. There's no way this is not going to suck.
Yeah.
But Chip Wright, his double, was so good and so precise. I felt him place his boot on my chest and then shove.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
While he's in the air.
Huh.
We did that fight scene all day long. The next day, Chuck's there. And I've been taught from the beginning, actors are going to hit you. I'm like, okay, well, this is where I pay my dues. I felt Chuck place his foot and shove me. The only difference is he shoved me twice as far.
Wow.
Super nice guy. And, I mean,
he had amazing control. And he had amazing control.
Yeah, amazing control.
I've seen him on several interviews back in the day where he would kick, right at the interviewer and, like, just stop it, like, right there, or right at their throat or whatever. Yeah, and then hold it,
And so fast.
Yeah.
For a guy his size. He was super quick.
Yeah.
But one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. The day he showed up on set, he introduced himself to everybody.
Wow, cool.
Spent a few minutes with them. 8 weeks later, when we were wrapping, he remembered everybody's name.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's
just
impressive.
So kind.
Yeah. I worked for his son. Never met him, but worked for his son.
I've met his son. I've never worked for him.
Yeah. I was out on Magnum PI.
Yeah.
I went out there to double a guy, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So was that did you get to work with Chuck Norris more after that?
No, I didn't work with the Norrises anymore, but I worked with a lot of those stunt guys. Like, they're the guys that taught me to get hit by a car, taught me high falls. I worked with guys like Dean Ferrandini and Red Horton, a bunch of old school guys.
Yeah. What years was around this? Is this like mid-90s?
Yeah, this is like early to mid-90s.
Yeah, okay.
Because, I went out at the end of 93. Then started working.
It's so crazy that our origin story is like at the same time and place in New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's another weird one. I auditioned for the Viking stunt show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't fit any of the wardrobe that they had roles for.
Yeah.
Like, we did an 8-hour audition where they continually just cut people.
Long auditions.
Yeah.
Dude.
We're at the Debbie Reynolds studio.
Debbie Reynolds studio, yeah.
And it came down to like the last 12 people.
What year was that?
This would be right before I joined the Army, so probably 96.
We might have been at the same audition.
We might have been.
Because I went over to do the Viking show in 97.
Yeah.
And the audition we had to do was in the fall of 96.
So, yeah, we were probably at the same audition.
We probably were at the same
audition. Because we ended up,
it
was the last 12 people. And I feel like Esteban was there. Yeah, I just remember getting to the last 12 and they're like, okay, if you're between this height and this height, stand over here. If you're between this height and this height, stand over there.
Yeah.
If you're not in one of these two groups, thank you for coming.
Right.
And I'm like, you couldn't have told me that 8 hours ago.
8 hours ago. Yeah, right. I know. It's crazy. Yeah.
But, so I auditioned for that live show and I auditioned for the Batman stunt show in Texas.
Oh, in Texas. Okay.
That Bonsai Vitale and Tom Williams ended up on.
Right. Yeah, they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bonsai came from there. Bonsai, he has helped so many guys in the business,
Yeah,
man.
and such a sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah.
He came through on Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they were kind of rough on him because if you're working with a Japanese stunt crew and your name is Bonsai, yeah, they're going to test you a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that could be. Yeah, you got to earn that name.
Yeah,
if you're around Japanese guys, they're going to make you earn it for sure, man. Yeah,
and those guys were some of the most amazing athletes I've ever seen.
Mm.
You know, they'd take hits that would kill a normal human being, and they're half my size, and they get up and dust off and go again.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how they do it, man.
I don't either.
So I'm trying to kind of work this out. So when did you go into the military?
So I was doing the same stunts over and over again. I was getting hit by cars, getting thrown downstairs, getting hit by cars, getting thrown downstairs, hit by cars, thrown downstairs, the occasional fight scene, and safetying the occasional burn. And I just didn't feel like I was being challenged.
Mm.
And I thought, well, what's the most challenging thing I can do right now? And my brain fired up and said, well, you haven't joined the Army yet.
Mm.
And I thought, well, why not? What's the worst that can happen? At this point, I'm 29 years old when I joined the Army. I was 2 years older than my drill sergeant.
I was going to say, that's pretty late, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Volunteered infantry, was sent to Fort Benning, Georgia for basic training. And like I said, I was 2 years older than my drill sergeant. I was already a martial artist, already been a stuntman, could already repel off of anything from any angle.
Right.
And I had been in Civil Air Patrol when I was in high school. So I knew wear and carry of the uniform, close order drill, all of that. Call and cadence, everything.
Right.
So the Army was a really different experience for me than most people. Because I get there, and the only thing they can really teach me is how to make a bed with hospital corners. Because I could shoot better than them. I was at home in the woods. You know, I'd been throwing drunks out of nightclubs for years. So when somebody would do something wrong and they would punish everybody, as they'd be walking away, they'd look at me and go, "Of course you know this had nothing to do with you." When I graduated basic training, I was distinguished honor graduate of my platoon and company and soldier of the cycle for Fort Benning, Georgia. I won an Army Achievement Medal in basic training.
Wow.
Just for, what I thought was doing my job.
Right. Wow.
Then they sent me to Korea for a year. I did a year with the 2nd Infantry Division at a place called Camp Casey, Korea, in a town called Tungdashan, which is about 45 minutes from the DMZ.
Okay.
And then after Korea, I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky with the 101st Airborne Division. And that's where I did most of my time.
Wow. Okay. And how long were you in the military altogether?
I did 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, I was in from 97 to 01.
Oh, okay.
Then I got out, went back to college to finish my degree. And when I was done with that...
What was your degree in?
Theater. I've got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
It's the weirdest degree they've ever issued because to catch up on time I'd lost, I used a program in the Army that converts your Army time to college credit. So in my degree, I've got things like management, military history, all sorts of Soviet military doctrine as an elective class, all of these things that, came from my military time for a degree in theater.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then when I came back, I jumped right back in. Luckily, there were a lot of people that still knew me. And now I had a different skill set to bring to the table as a military advisor, as a weapons expert.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I did a lot of work as an armorer.
Yeah, that opens up a lot of doors
Yeah.
in the stunt business or movie business, period. But yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That was early 2000s, kind of coming back into the business.
Yeah, about 2002.
Okay. Were you back in LA?
Yeah, I moved back to LA.
You moved back to LA. Okay, cool. And then you started getting some work doing some military advising, armory, and stunt.
Yeah, I was getting
at the same time?
whatever I could get paid for.
Okay.
I was working as a military advisor. I started coordinating shows.
Oh, so that's when you started doing some coordinating too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to thank Danny Wayne for that, because he had been coordinating a lot, and he was wanting to make that next step up and start second unit directing some stuff. So when he moved up to second unit director, he turned around and went, "Oh, by the way, you're coordinating the show." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Here we go."
Thank you.
So like everything else in this business for me, I just kind of had to figure it out as I went.
Yeah.
And luckily, I had enough time behind me with some really amazing coordinators that I at least had a template. I wasn't starting from scratch, but there was a learning curve.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I got pulled into a lot of things because of my military background. I did some producing on some like reenactment shows.
Oh, cool.
Because I could go in and be their military advisor and also
Yeah.
sort out the logistics of it and
Right.
get them things
Sounds
they
like
couldn't have
that
gotten
would be a
otherwise.
really fun but challenging job as
Yeah.
well, too.
Yeah. But you get so used to having to create plans and then alter those plans in the midst while you're in the Army. There's a saying that, no matter how good the plan, everything changes as soon as the first bullet gets fired.
Yeah, right.
It's the same in the film industry.
in the film.
No matter how well you plan, as soon as you go to camera, something's going to break.
Oh, yeah. It seems
And you're gonna have
every
to
time.
flex.
Yeah. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you really have to. I think people don't realize how hard it is to make a movie. They think it's
Yeah.
all fun and it's just excitement, and it's a lot of grunting and hard work, and you have to
And
do
nobody
things over and
realizes how
over,
many people are involved.
and how many people are involved, and how many times they do stuff and go, "Nope, that doesn't work," and redo it and redo it and redo it, and
Yeah.
like you said, with doing the camera work or whatever it is, there's so many pieces coming together that something's gonna go wrong, and you're just hoping it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a miracle that movies get made.
It is. It is. Really is. Yeah.
I'm always amazed, even now, going into a film, not just seeing all the crew that are on set with you, but all of the people that are behind the scenes that you never see.
Yeah.
And, you
Right.
watch the credits, and only like 30% are ever on set. All the rest of those guys and girls,
Right.
are elsewhere.
Yeah. You're right. Whether they're a writer, producer, or in a factory, manufacturing something.
Yeah, or the accountants, or the legal, or the computer aided effects. All of those people.
Yeah.
I did a reality show when I first got back to California called The Wild Rules, and I was a contestant. And when it finally went to, when it was finally put on television, they invited us to the studio to watch it. They got us all back together, flew us in from wherever everybody was. And I'm walking into the building, and all these people are coming up and saying hi to me. Oh my God, Charlie, so good to see you. I'm getting hugs and back slaps, and I don't know any of these people. Who are these people? They were the editors.
Oh.
They had been seeing my face for months
Right.
and had created a relationship with me that I had not been a part of.
Huh. Interesting.
That's when it really dawned on me. There are a lot of people involved in this that you don't know.
Yeah. So, as you're gaining some speed now, what's one of the projects that when you started coordinating, some of the ones that you're like, this really is like, now I'm coordinating, I'm established, I'm, feeling like you made some ground, like you're actually, because it's hard in the stunt world. It takes a long time before you feel kind of like you made it somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really thought about it that way because I had such a gradual slide into coordinating. There was nothing definitive.
Okay.
Until probably the one we did together, Willy's Wonderland. That was a whole different thing.
Yes. I don't know if they can see my shirt here.
you know, because I had come to Georgia and I was working really steady. I was, you know, working as a stunt guy on pretty much every show that was in town.
When did you come to Georgia, by the way?
It's been 8 years, I guess.
Okay. So was like 2016 or
2016, something like that.
Okay.
And my wife got us an Airbnb for when we landed here, and it was on a small regional airport in Stockbridge. And we pull up to the Airbnb, and I look over, and on one of the runways is Jeff Wolf, second unit directing MacGyver.
Oh, really?
And I looked at my wife and went, wait right here, I'll be right back.
I got to go hustle him.
And I ran over and said, hey, Jeff, how you doing? He's like, oh, my God, I didn't know you were in town. I'm like, yeah, I just got here. He goes, when? I'm like, just now. That's my car over there.
That's my just
and he goes,
now.
Well, keep in touch with me. I'll bring you on. And, you know, we loaded in and we started looking for houses. And my first job was back in California. My second job was back in Texas. And my third job was Jeff Wolf, MacGyver.
Wow, cool, man.
But yeah, I've been here years, working as a stunt guy and as a stunt rigger, and a coordinator or a production coordinator that I knew from California calls me and she's like, "Hey, I've got a Nicolas Cage film. Do you want to stunt coordinate it?" I'm like, of course I do. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, right.
And that was such a great experience.
That's cool how that came to you, man. It's really a present. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and she's a dear friend. We've done a lot of stuff together. We both came up in low budget film together. So she knew that I had the skill to solve problems without having to throw money at them. And they brought me on early, which was great, because
that was such a blast to work on.
It was such a fun show.
Being Nighty Night, that was such a different experience for me.
Yeah, it was. That was my favorite part of the whole film was getting to cast all of you guys.
Yeah,
because I had the characters laid out in front of me and what their experiences were going to need to be. And I just started going through the Rolodex of who do I know. And you were the first person I thought of for 99.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, thank you. That's awesome.
I saw 99, I'm like, Duke Jackson. Just like Billy Bussey for Gus the Gorilla.
Oh, yes.
Like, there's only one Gus, and it's Billy Bussey.
He was so Gus, man.
Yeah, he was so Gus. But the cool thing about that show, because of their budget constraints, they only had one of each creature.
Yeah.
Like there was only one suit.
Yeah.
So we had to film it in such a way that they could get everything they needed with the intact suit.
Right before we tear them apart.
Then we'd just beat the suit to death.
Yeah.
And the idea of doing the fight scenes with you guys and then pulling you out and putting the inflatable mannequins in and then just letting Nick Cage be Nick Cage.
Get his cage rage out, right?
That was my idea.
That was yours?
Like,
cool.
How are we going to do this? I'm like, okay, this is how we do this.
Uh-huh.
And I was amazed that so many of the suits actually survived.
Yeah.
Some of them did not. Some of them were.
Well, mine was in where was
it?
Yeah,
it's in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Lawton, Oklahoma.
At a movie theater.
That's cool. That's awesome.
The guy. So the weird thing about that is the company went out of business. And when they left their offices, they left all the costumes there.
Wow.
And the guy that worked for the building was cleaning it out. And he goes, "What do you want me to do with these?" And the owner said, "Well, do whatever you want with them." So he put them on eBay. And apparently made a good amount of money.
Yeah. Because there really was kind of a cult following of that film. Yeah, I was surprised how popular it was, actually.
Yeah, I wore my Willy's Wonderland shirt to a set. And like 4 or 5 different people ran up. "Oh my God, where'd you get that shirt? I've been looking for one all over." I'm like,
"Really?"
Yeah, I worked on the show. And it's weird how that just sort of elevates your status in some of those places.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thanks for having me on that, by the way.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
And Naomi, you had her on there as Nicolas Cage's personal assistant and driver.
Yeah, well, that was another one. They're like, "Hey, do you know anybody who could be his assistant that speaks fluent Japanese?"
Like, and be able to drive, right? And the driver's license.
And can drive. I'm like, I know exactly one person
I think
that fits all those boxes.
Fits all of those. Yeah.
And she's not going to get starstruck. She knows her way around town. I trust her in any vehicle, and she speaks fluent Japanese.
Yeah, yeah. That was quite an experience for her too.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it was something, but yeah.
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 And Nicolas Cage, he's such an iconic figure.
He really is. He really is.
And he
he's
was
one of those
exactly
guys,
what you expect.
Exactly what I was going to say. Exactly what I would expect. He's so close to his roles he plays and how he is on interviews. It's like, oh yeah, this is you.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember standing on set. We're getting ready to kill off Taylor Towery as the.
What was she? She was a siren or something?
No, she was. Oh God, she was the lizard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Cammy Chameleon.
Cammy Chameleon. Yes.
So he's getting ready to kill Cammy Chameleon with a plumbing snake. And he's standing there looking at the plumbing snake in his hands and looking at her in the chameleon costume. And he looks over at me and he goes, you know, sometimes you just got to embrace the madness. I thought, that right there explains Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Maybe you should make a shirt. Put his face on it and put that quote underneath it. I bet you could sell a bunch of them.
I bet you could. Yeah. Like those pillows.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, stunts isn't all that isn't the only reason I bring people on this show. And one reason I thought you would be an interesting person to interview is because besides being the talented stunt performer and all of this knowledge in martial arts and military and weapons and everything like that, you're a pretty kind of spiritual person, aren't you?
Yeah. I've always been spiritual in a different way than most.
Mm-hmm. How so?
When I was little, I came home with a question from school asking my mom what religion we are. And she goes, well, I was raised Methodist, but you're going to have to figure it out for yourself. So I spent...
I just want to stop you right there. That is something that not very many parents give their children the opportunity to do.
Yeah, my mom was a very different person. She'd studied at the Silva Institute of Mind Control.
Really? Fascinating, dude.
She's half Choctaw.
She's had what?
Half Choctaw Indian.
Oh, half Choctaw. Okay.
And so her approach to life was very different. And she never treated me like a baby. She always treated me like a human. So giving me those opportunities to learn.
Yeah.
And figure it out for myself. And being willing to abide by what decisions I made.
Yeah.
As long as they were safe. So
that's amazing, man.
From an early age, I started looking into what religions were what. And you know, I went to several. We were surrounded by churches in our neighborhood.
Where'd you grow up?
At the time, we were living in the Dallas, Texas area.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And, I mean, there had to have been a dozen churches within walking distance of my house. And I figured out that I could go to Sunday school starting at 6:30 in the morning until like 2:30 in the afternoon. And they're only like 30 minutes apiece. And at the end, you get punch and cookies. So I could eat from 6:30 in the morning till almost 3 in the afternoon.
You just went from church to church.
I did. I just went from one to the other. And
that's amazing.
Realized they're all reading the same book. And none of them can agree about what it says.
Yeah.
So why don't I just read it myself?
And how old were you about this time?
I couldn't have been more than 6 or 7.
And you're already thinking that way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I read the Bible, and then after the Bible, I started reading Confucius and Lao Tzu and, you know, the Bhagavad Gita and just...
And so you said Lao Tzu, right? So that's the Taoism, right? Yeah.
And that's what I ended up on. That's the thing that made the most sense to me.
Was Taoism.
Was Taoism. Because the basic idea is life is going to happen to you. How you respond to it is what matters. And, you know, you can't stop the sun from rising. All you can do is enjoy its warmth. So it's got a very uplifting view of the world. It's very close to the Stoics
Yes.
With their amor fati, the love of fate.
Right. It's interesting. Like when I first started reading some Taoism stuff, and I think one of the ones is Alan Watts. One of his books, he talked about it a lot. And so I thought it was a very interesting. I guess you could say religion, but it's very philosophical. It's not so much dogmatic, at least the stuff that I've read, anyways. But how he keeps talking about the way, right, and how the way you do things and the way of the nature and everything is the way, and how like you can't ever understand the Tao, right? It's you can never put it in words. You can never completely explain it. You can never completely understand it. And as soon as you do, you've actually it's not the Tao.
As soon as you try and put it in a box, you've stepped away from what it really is.
Right.
It's like love.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was just going to say, that's the perfect description of God in my mind.
Yeah.
We can't ever put him in a label and a description of any kind. And as soon as you do, you've changed something about the actual essence of God. Yeah.
Absolutely. You feel it. It's like love.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really explain it. You can give a cartoon rendering of what you think love is, but that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you feel it, you have no doubt in your mind that that's what you're feeling.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And that counts for the love of your spouse, the love of an animal, the love of whatever spirit you decide is the creator.
Mm-hmm.
You know when you're on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart tells you.
Right.
And that's what I like about Taoism. It's not about explaining it. It's about living it.
Exactly right.
It's about finding your path. Kind of like riding a bicycle. You'll wobble, and then you catch your balance. And when you catch your balance, you can do anything. You take your hands off the handlebars, kick your feet up. As long as you've found that balance and you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Tao to me.
That's really cool. That's a really cool way to think about it. And I always, that always kind of, it always reminded me of that scripture where Jesus would say, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." So to me, I was like, that's what the Tao is.
Absolutely.
Like, it's in Christ was really saying, that's who I am, but also all of us in nature, really, when it comes down to it.
And, early on I realized that if you took, let's just say, Catholicism, and you put it in a Hindu brain and shook it around and dumped it out, it would come out Hinduism or Buddhism.
Right.
If you took it and put it in a Middle Eastern head and shook it around and dumped it out.
I like that. I like the way you see that. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
All of the religions are trying to tell you the same thing.
Yep.
And
I think so too.
I mean,
at least the ones that are very established and they've been around for centuries or millennia.
Yeah, and the farther back you go in all of those religions, the more similar they get.
Exactly. Yeah. You see a lot of things crossing over, and
it's like the martial arts to me. There are hundreds of martial arts out there. When I see one that says this is the ultimate martial art, I generally automatically discount that, because any real art is not going to deal in those absolutes.
Say that.
What I look at is...
That is a really interesting way to look at it. That's pretty cool.
Well, what I look at is where those arts intersect. Like, where does karate intersect with jiu-jitsu? Where does jiu-jitsu intersect with taekwondo? Where does taekwondo intersect with wushu? Because those points of intersection, that's the truth.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah.
That's the truth. Those things have survived thousands of years because they work.
Exactly. Right.
Martial arts is a great example, because things that don't work, they don't get pushed forward because the guy that tried them usually died.
That's kind of survival of the fittest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Or the survival of the realest or the truest, or, yeah.
And martial arts has always been kind of a guiding force to me. I started martial arts when I was 12 and worked my way through, half a dozen arts until I found jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu made so much sense to me.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do jiu-jitsu. And I was in Japan. I tried for a while, but my Japanese wasn't that good, so I just couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
And then as I'm getting older now, I'm afraid to do it because I've got so many joint things going on.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of the coolest martial arts. And do you remember, I wish Ayami was here, I could ask her, what jiu-jitsu means in Japanese?
The art of gentleness.
The art of what?
I think it's the art of gentleness or the art of suppleness.
Gentleness, suppleness. I think you're correct, actually.
Yeah.
Now that you think that you're saying that. And I saw the style was
Mizuwaki Jiu-Jitsu.
Mizu is water in Japanese. Right. I know that.
Wa is harmony and ki is spirit.
Cool. Wow, what a cool.
Yeah,
so it's water, harmony, and spirit.
And my sensei, David Ernest in Texas, he's probably got one of the most incredible martial brains I have ever met. Like, he just thinks in three-dimensional combat. And he's only ever been in one fight. But he just understands combat for what it is. And I took a class from him, Body and Self-Defense. And when he stepped in front of the class, he goes, well, first of all, let me clear something up. I don't teach karate. I teach jiu-jitsu. And if that's a problem for anybody, I'll sign your drop slip, no problem. But let me explain to you what jiu-jitsu is. Because we use a variety of things, throws, punches, joint locks, chokes, weapons to defend ourselves and to enact combat. He goes, but if someone breaks into my house as a gun owner, I'm going to shoot them. And when they fall down, I'm still going to call that jiu-jitsu. Because jiu-jitsu is what works. That's my definition of jiu-jitsu.
Interesting.
Huh. If I teach you something and you use it and it fails, that wasn't jiu-jitsu. But if you go out and do something that I didn't teach you and it works, that's still jiu-jitsu.
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, and he would absorb other things that worked better. Like when we started out, we were using the hard-style karate blocks. And then he started working with somebody who did Wing Chun. I went, oh, this works so much better. So we dropped our blocking structure and absorbed the Wing Chun blocking structure.
That's pretty cool. That's really hard for a lot of martial artists.
Yeah.
Once they learn like their style, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem with a lot of martial arts is they are so rigid, a lot like religions.
And religion is very similar. Yeah. I used to compare those two a lot in my mind.
I compare them a lot still.
Yeah.
And like life, combat is fluid. So being in a rigid structure is not going to serve.
As Bruce Lee that said, be like water?
Be like water.
Yeah.
And that's sort of been a repeating theme in my life of stepping outside of the structure of things. Finding where life is more fluid. That's always where I'm happiest.
Nice.
That's one of the things I love about what we do for a living is it's never the same thing twice. And
unless you do the live shows.
Unless you do the live shows.
It's still not the exact same thing, though.
No, not at all. Right. But, Beth would call me when I was working in Los Angeles. Oh, what'd you do at work today? I dropped a vintage Mercedes off a Great All from 35 feet.
Okay.
All right, what'd you do today? Oh, I flew a kid like Superman across a stage.
Yeah. That's fun. It's fun. You just never know sometimes.
You just never know.
Yeah. Like you say, that is one of the very exciting things and cool things about what we do is the variety, the spontaneity. Yeah.
Yeah. And we get to bounce off some of the most amazing people.
Yes. Yeah.
Like every person you talk to, I'm sure you've found, they've all got a really different story. Like the origin stories could be in a comic book. You know, we all came from somewhere different.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You find such just interesting people on sets, especially in the stunt community. But even when you start talking to just some of the other people in the makeup department or wardrobe, or you know, there's just a lot of people that don't want to do things a conventional way, and they want to do something creative and different and exciting, and they're willing to take that chance, you know, the risks to be able to work in that. And
yeah, I kind of feel
takes
like
a while, pays off, but you know,
I kind of feel like we're all a bunch of carnies or circus workers.
yeah,
You know, we live outside of societal norms and do something that people just don't understand.
right. Because along with like wanting to do what we do, especially when we were early on, you had to let go of security.
Yes.
Because everybody else is already trying to get their college degrees and then work into whatever company and then start, you know, making. And to be a stuntman, like, at least for me, you had to like, just go out there, not know anybody, take a bunch of risk, hustle around, train, put stuff out there, and you'd take a job to get by. But as soon as anything stunt related came up, man, that job went bye-bye.
Yeah.
All that security went bye-bye just for that job, that one time to do a stunt.
That's why there were so many of us when I first came up that were working in bars and nightclubs.
Right.
And everybody at the bar was in the film industry. Everybody.
Right.
The bartenders and cocktail waitresses were actors.
Mm-hmm.
The bar backs and the bouncers were stunt guys.
We're stunt guys, yeah.
And that was almost every bar I worked in California.
Yeah. But that makes it so exciting to that city, right? Because everybody's got a dream.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is everybody knows, hey, look, I got a week on this show.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we'll cover you for the week.
Yeah.
Put my name in.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was what was cool about doing live stunt shows.
Yeah.
Because you could actually have a security somewhat, a constant job, and you were doing stunts. And you had so many guys, at least the way we used to do it, you had so many guys on the roster, alternates. You never really worried about giving away your shift and getting it covered, you know. And then you could go do your stunt day here and there, and then come right back and it was, do your live shows.
It was so funny early, like in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. All the old school coordinators were really down on the live shows.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
They didn't want to hear that you'd done live shows.
Yeah.
But then suddenly the idea started changing because, I mean, if you're doing the Waterworld show and you're doing the high fall,
the fire dive,
you're doing 10 to 12 high falls a day.
And I used to do that role, actually.
Yeah. 4 to 5 days a week. You've got a lot of experience.
Yeah, a lot of experience with fire and being in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. There was a guy that used to work at the Waterworld as a fire diver who worked there many, many years. And it might have been Lauren Dennis or Steve Shriver, Patrick Party. We called him Party. I can't remember who it was. I'm like, have you ever thought about like adding up all the time you've been in the air? You know, trying to figure that out by how long it takes for each fall, how many shows you've done over how many years, and just get like a rough number of how long you've been falling.
Yeah,
for the last
you've done a
20
free
years.
fall from the International Space Station.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he did, and it came out like it was crazy, dude. Like how you can't say exactly how. Well, I guess you could too, because then you could add each 45-foot time you did it together. But yeah, it was like that. It was like falling for like for 3 months straight or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, I've been really honored to be able to hire some of those guys.
Yeah,
like Lauren Dennis and John Dixon to come and help. When I did Go Big Show, we had a high diver that wanted to do a fire dive. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I got just the guys to safety this, help me figure this out, because I've never done a fire dive. I'm not that guy. But he wanted to do a backflip. I'm like, no. And I looked at Lauren and John. I'm like, backflip, and they're like, no sir. I'm like,
that's why they're
both
here.
of these guys are shaking their head. That seemed to me it's a pretty bad idea.
Well, that's why because when they first started that fire dive show, because it's between 45, 50 feet, which some people say, oh, it doesn't sound that high, but when you're doing it over and over again, it does take a toll on you. But when they first started, they did head first into that.
Yeah.
And it was just beating the guys up. It was chewing up their elbows and wrists and shoulders and everything and necks, everything. So like, we got to figure a way to go feet first into the water. But they couldn't just do like a crawl, and then go feet first, because of that particular reason. You're going right through your flames.
Right.
And so they had to figure out, let's do a branny. Because that branny, you're going head first, and then you twist away that you don't actually go into your flames.
Right.
And they worked it out, those guys, and that step off that they put in there looks so amazing, and it just takes you right into that branny. And yeah.
Yeah, I've watched it hundreds of times and thought, man, those guys are so good at that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and I was, I was not a high diver, but I saw that in the live shows. First of all, for me, like doing the Waterworld show was like kind of it was like the top of the live show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm like, doing all the live shows, I've got to do that show, because that's the pinnacle right there. And then to me, the fire dive was the pinnacle of stunts in live stunt shows.
Yeah.
Just represented, you got the fire and the height and the fight scene before, everything, right? So
that was such a dynamic show with all of the moving parts.
With all the moving parts, yeah. And I was like, I want to do that role. And it took me years and several auditions, but finally getting to do the fire diver and the mariner at Waterworld. But I was not a diver, so I did plenty of high falls. But I can do the face off the headers and all that stuff. But once you start adding another twist or another flip in there, my head's like, now I'm getting lost. So I was struggling with the branny and timing it out right, and I was practicing over and over again, because I was mariner at the show, and I was going to do the audition for fire diver, and I was going off the top and just smashing myself over and over again. And it was Justin Woods who was out there, and he's trying to help me out. He's like, man, you just got to loosen up. You just have to relax. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm just getting ready to step off 50 feet to the water. How do I relax, And he's like, well, that's what you got to do it. You're too tight in the air. And I remember I'd smashed so many times that I was like, okay, I'm just going to walk off of this thing like I'm a rag doll. I'm going to pretend like there's nothing down there, and I'm just going to be as loose as I can be. It took everything in my brain to make myself do that. But I stepped off, and I just went perfectly around and timed perfect and hit the water, And it was like this point in my life, it was like an epiphany on a couple different levels. And one was like, you can't be tight in situations and force things to happen. And the more you do that, the more you're just actually messing up. So you actually have to have a sense of letting go and trust, to do things and to be loose, and then it just works out. It just works out.
Yeah.
Well,
you're
like, but how? It just did.
But it's such a great metaphor for life.
It is, right?
And part of it is that radical self-trust. All the people who are out there, the person a lot of times we trust least is ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because we're in our head with that, that imposter syndrome of, I'm not good enough to be here.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't know how to silence that voice.
Mm-hmm.
I was really lucky in that the guys who brought me in, I trusted them. And if they told me this is going to work, I'm okay. Well, they wouldn't put me here if they didn't think I could do it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, the first time they hit me with a car, they're like, all right, have you ever been hit by a car? No, sir. Well, today's your day.
Okay.
That was my prep. I'm like, okay. They're like, go put your pads on where you think you need them. We're going to hit you 5 miles an hour with that car.
Mm-hmm.
Put my pads on. All right. When the car gets close, pop up on your toes so you can get onto the hood and not go under the car.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they hit me at 5 miles an hour. And they stopped and I rolled off and they're, what'd you learn? My pads are in the wrong place. Okay, good. Change them. And they built me up. Now we're going to hit you at 10. Now we're going to hit you at 15. Now we're going to hit you at 20. All right, now we're going to go out and we're going to film it. Okay. My first high fall. You say 45 doesn't sound like much, but my first high fall was off of a stage at Santa Clarita into an airbag. And, it's only 30, 40 feet. That airbag looks like a postage stamp. All of a sudden, everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, well, in my mind, it's like, well, gravity works. All I got to do is stick the landing. That's not a lot to focus on. I'm just going to fall and make sure I land on my back. That's all I need to do. The fall's going to take care of itself. All I've got to do is figure out the landing.
Right.
And that's what I did. But my approach is, I teach a workshop on fear.
You do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm actually teaching one on Tuesday.
Really?
The Stagehands Union.
Where at?
At the Stagehands Union.
The stage what?
The Stagehands Union, AASLT.
Oh, where is that?
It's in like College Park.
College Park?
Yeah, at their headquarters.
Okay.
Because with all the stuff I've done, I'm kind of a subject matter expert on things that make you afraid.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to be scared to death of heights. And it made me angry. It makes no sense to be afraid of something.
Right.
So in order to cure myself of the fear, I climbed the 50-foot light tower at my football field.
Wow.
And told myself, I'm going to stand here until I either die from it or my hands stop shaking. And just then, the switch flipped.
Wow.
And my hands quit shaking, and I realized, if I'm going to die, this is not so bad a way to go. The pain part's going to be an instant.
Right.
The transition's going to be really quick.
Yeah.
But the way down, you're going to have a hell of a ride.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And look at the view from up here.
Yeah.
So it changed my mindset.
Interesting. I'm a lot like you in that aspect.
Yeah, a lot of us are.
I think, I don't know. I think, like for you, like the fear, there was a rational part of you that recognized something that this is stupid, and then you have that primal part that's still afraid anyways. And it's like, so which one wins? Like the primal part or the rational part that says, no, wait a second.
Well, so
there doesn't have to be afraid of this. We can figure a way out.
One of the things I teach is there's a process to fear. In reality, there are two types of fear. Only two. Fear of death or dismemberment. Fear of feeling bad. One is a physical fear. One is a tribal fear. What does that person think of me? I'm afraid of speaking in public because I don't know what those people are going to take from this. I might be ostracized from the tribe. And when we were in tribes, that was a big fear.
That was a big thing.
Because if you're forced out, you're all alone.
Right.
Anybody can come at you. And then the fear of death or dismemberment, it's the fear of death. But both of those boil down to one single fear, the fear of the unknown. You're not afraid of dying. You're afraid because you don't know what happens next.
You don't know what death is.
Right.
Is it the end? Is it something worse? Is it,
I've had the advantage of having died twice.